In 2019, Korean studio Shift Up unveiled a teaser for their first major title, tentatively named Project Eve. The game promised stunning visuals, a captivating narrative, and a beautiful aesthetic that felt both familiar and fresh, instantly earning a top spot on my watch list. Now, 5 years later, the enigmatic Project Eve has evolved into something far greater than anyone could have imagined, and I'm incredibly excited to talk about its final form, Stellar Blade. Set in a post-apocalyptic landscape, Stellar Blade is an action RPG where players take on the role of Eve, a combat android on a mission to save the dwindling human population by eliminating the Natiba threat and enabling humanity to rebuild. Shortly after Eve's deployment to Earth by the Mother Sphere, she's rescued by Adam, a resourceful scavenger aiding the inhabitants of Sion, the last remaining human city. They're soon joined by Lily, an engineer who occasionally upgrades Eve's capabilities. Together, the trio collect hypercells to support the city of Sion while advancing Eve's mission. As their journey unfolds, Eve uncovers forbidden knowledge revealing the truth about their world. Stellar Blade's narrative delves deeply into themes of self-determination and questions the nature of humanity itself. As Eve interacts with the various characters and confronts the truth of her own existence, the game presents thought-provoking scenarios that highlight the struggle for autonomy and the search for meaning in a morally complex world. This exploration of self-determination and human essence is woven seamlessly into both the gameplay and narrative, making Stellar Blade a profoundly engaging experience. Eve's journey unfolds across various open zone environments, each brimming with an impressive array of collectibles, challenges, and side content. These elements not only provide deeper background and context, but also offer valuable rewards that make detours worthwhile. Stellar Blade emphasizes stylish gameplay, with many rewards being cosmetic items like outfit blueprints and accessories. Players can also find equipable gears that offer various enhancements, exospines that contribute to Eve's combat style, and body or beta cores that increase their respective gauges with every 3 acquired. Stellar Blade's combat is ridiculously fun, satisfyingly challenging, and deeply layered. So discussing these aspects requires first exploring the various ways Eve's combat abilities can be enhanced. From the start, Eve's abilities feel somewhat limited, setting up the acquisition of new skills as a tremendously rewarding indicator of progress. This sense of progression is heightened by the fact that the player's proficiency in combat will have inevitably improved by the time new skills are unlocked. Initially, there are 3 skill trees where players can spend skill points to unlock new abilities. The attack skill tree, focusing on combat-related upgrades, the survival skill tree, primarily focused on defensive capabilities, and the beta skill tree, offering upgrades for special combat abilities that consume Eve's beta gauge. Later in the game, 2 additional skill trees become available. The burst skill tree, which utilizes Eve's new burst gauge for powerful attacks, and the tacky skill tree, which provides enhancements for a sort of berserk mode. Lily also upgrades the drone, enabling it to be used as a gun with its own enhancements. These upgrades include improved hacking abilities for opening more chests, and the capability to use different types of ammunition, such as shotgun rounds, charged rounds, and rockets. Additionally, Eve has access to various combat consumables, including different types of grenades and mines, alongside healing items. Eve's main healing consumable is the Tumbler, which starts with 3 uses and is refilled whenever she rests at a supply camp. Supply camps allow Eve to heal, upgrade skills, purchase items, and access a repair console where she can upgrade her tumbler to hold more uses and heal larger amounts of health. She can also increase her weapon damage and available gear sockets. Resting at a camp functions similarly to Dark Souls, as all fallen enemies will respawn. Despite the multitude of upgradable features, managing them in Stellar Blade is far from tedious. When you have the required resources for an upgrade, a small green indicator conveniently appears at the corresponding station in supply camps. Moreover, exospines, gears, and cosmetics are all effortlessly manageable directly from the first page of the pause menu. This accessibility ensures that managing upgrades is a smooth and enjoyable experience. While it's possible to get by without mastering Eve's higher level combos, investing time to familiarize yourself with them will undoubtedly give you an advantage in combat, much of which is focused on parrying and counter-striking. A successful parry contributes to breaking your enemy's balance, opening them up to a devastating retribution attack. When enemies wind up for a powerful strike, a blue or purple flash will indicate that Eve should use her blink or repulse abilities respectively, allowing her to evade damage and counterattack. Beneath each enemy's health gauge, you'll find a second gauge representing their shields, with diamonds indicating their balance. As the shield gauge diminishes, the enemy becomes increasingly vulnerable to Eve's strikes. Eve's combat is a delightful blend of style and precision. Her extravagant and graceful movements are complemented by highly precise hitboxes, ensuring that enemy strikes miss if they don't align with her during her combo animations. The game is designed to maximize the elegance and energy of combat, whether you're executing stealth strikes or diving headfirst into battle. Instead of avoiding fights, I actively sought them out to test my skills and style in taking down Nativas. The boss battles in particular stand out as exceptional tests of skill. They're challenging but fair, always feeling winnable through skillful play rather than relying on cheap tricks. As you acquire new skills and your proficiency increases, you'll find yourself besting bosses in fewer attempts. Your first few boss encounters looking something like this.
Oh my god, I almost died! I almost died, I was so scared!
While your later encounters looking more like this.
I'm about to go explosive on these motherfuckers!
There's 7 main areas that can be explored, one of which only becomes available toward the end of the game as a result of maxing out your affinity with the Lily. There are additionally 2 underground facilities that can be accessed where Eve will only have access to the gun for combat, introducing a really nice momentary twist on the gameplay. Each area offers a variety of collectibles, all of which provide meaningful content and rewards. This sense of significance makes exploration more engaging and ensures that each map is more memorable. As I'm recording the audio for this video, I'm on my 3rd playthrough, and I've developed a photographic memory of every nook and cranny. Don't even get me started on them crannies. Among the puzzles and challenges scattered across the maps, I find the skill-based challenges far more engaging. Most puzzles aren't necessarily brainbusters and can disrupt the flow of gameplay by requiring slow item manipulation onto pressure plates. Although these tedious puzzles are not numerous, they are one of the few aspects of this game that I'm not a fan of. Side quests, much like the collectibles, provide deeper insights into the ravaged world and the struggles of its inhabitants. Some quests even attract new residents to Scion, who open additional shops offering unique items. By purchasing items from various vendors, you can increase your affinity with them up to level 3, with each level unlocking new items in their shop. This game even boasts a fishing minigame, with its own dedicated questline. While fishing mechanics are not uncommon in RPGs, their execution can vary, and I'm happy to report that Stellar Blade's implementation of this mechanic is particularly successful, featuring a great questline and satisfying reward upon completion. I should also highlight the fantastic quality of life feature that prompts you to return to a quest giver once the quest is completed. As you can probably tell, I really enjoyed this game, and in that spirit, I'd like to discuss some areas where it could be improved, hopefully in future updates. First, let's talk about the maps. Some of the more linear areas simply didn't have one, which can be quite inconvenient, especially for players who haven't fully familiarized themselves with the area. Additionally, the absence of pins to mark and track locations, a relatively common feature in games these days, was noticeably absent in Stellar Blade. Furthermore, fast travel was only available from phone booths rather than directly from the map menu. On the topic of bosses, there are a few I like to call 2.0 versions, which serve as challenges for certain side quests. These 2.0 bosses are significantly more challenging than their 1.0 counterparts. Having these amped up challenges, especially for the earlier bosses, is fantastic, but once they're completed, that's it. I would love for Shift Up to add an option to respawn bosses, both 1.0 and 2.0 versions alike, similar to the combat assignments in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Though, as I've been editing this video, a boss challenge mode has been added in an update. However, being able to access these challenges from within the campaign would still be nice. Additionally, the game only offers a single save slot and does not include a chapter select feature. After defeating the final boss, you can reopen your save file right before that battle, but you're restricted from traveling anywhere else. For a game with 3 possible endings and a bunch of collectibles, I feel these are essential features. After investing time into 100%ing the game, players might appreciate the option to freely revisit certain areas and challenges with their new abilities without having to sacrifice a completed save file. Stellar Blade is loaded with masterfully implemented gameplay mechanics, so perhaps this request wouldn't be at the top of ShiftUp's priority list, especially since it would only be applicable to 1 or 2 maps. But allowing Eve to use a hoverbike like Adam's in the Great Desert would have made traversal a lot more fun and stylish. As I've mentioned, style was a major focus in Stellar Blade, and while there were a ridiculous amount of outfits to acquire, other cosmetic customization options felt comparatively limited. Eve can get her hair styled, but each hairstyle is limited to a small set of color options. It would have been nice to have all color options available for each hairstyle. Another small detail that could enhance customization would be the addition of makeup and eye color options, as well as more outfits for Adam, Lily, and the drone. Aside from a few minor improvements I believe could be implemented, this game does everything right, from its music and narrative to its gameplay and character design.
Yeah, boy.
ShiftUp has achieved something revolutionary in this day and age, delivering a polished and complete game at launch with no microtransactions, except for the potential release of outfits from other IPs. Director Hyung-tae Kim was so uncompromising in his creative vision that development was extended by roughly a year just to get Eve's hair right, accentuating her graceful movements in combat. On this note, I want to address the elephant in the room and direct some criticism at Sony, the game's publisher. Leading up to the release of Stellar Blade, the interwebs was plagued by disingenuous articles criticizing the intentionally appealing design of Eve. This seems to have led Sony to impose censorship by reducing blood and modifying some of Eve's outfits to reduce the amount of skin shown. This appears to have been a last-minute decision, as the physical disc version of the game, without the Day 1 update, contains the original content. Fans have responded by using the hashtag #FreeStellarBlade in hopes of having the original creative vision restored. This effort appears to have had some success, as new outfits with similar cuts to the uncensored versions were added in the first update, though some of the new outfits that were added do appear to be censored compared to their original designs. In an increasingly sensorial gaming landscape, it's refreshing to see a studio and game director have the courage to unapologetically indulge their creativity and pursue their creative vision. Unfortunately, Sony's characteristically smooth brain intervention, small as it is an unacceptable offense on creativity that infantilizes the audience. Nevertheless, I believe everyone should buy this game, not only because ShiftUp created a true masterpiece despite Sony, but supporting a developer with integrity and respect for their employees is important for the health of the industry. I always encourage purchasing a physical version of the game, and in a move that's becoming increasingly rare these days, the Digital Deluxe upgrade is available to physical owners as well. Unless something comes out of left field in the next few months and completely slaps, this is the game of the year. It's the most fun I've had playing a new game in a very long time, closely followed by the recent Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Thanks to its stellar gameplay, music, narrative, and cinematic presentation, platinuming this game was a true delight. And the implementation of New Game Plus is one of the best I've seen. Not only does it unlock hard mode and carry over all your resources and skills, it adds new upgrades for Eve's skills, weapon, tumbler, and cores. Not to mention all of the variants for the unlockable outfits and enhanced versions of gears and exospines. Moving forward, I wouldn't be surprised if Stellar Blade receives some DLC and additional cosmetic items, possibly even some crossover content. The most obvious and likely outfits would probably come from the Nier and Drakengard series, given that Yoko Taro and Hyung-tae Kim have already been palling around. Kayane's hairstyle is already an option in the game, hinting at this possibility. We might also see content from ShiftUp's mobile game, Goddess of Victory Nikke, and other properties like the ones they've done crossovers with. Personally, I'd love to see crossover content from Gravity Rush, a franchise Sony would be wise to revive. But what content and outfits would you like to see? Let me know in the comments below. If you've enjoyed this video, I'd greatly appreciate if you could leave a like and subscribe. And as always, I hope you'll join me in the next one. I've been Punch and Funk. Keep it funky, fellas.